Howdy, howdy, howdy to the people of the world. What is going on? So today is messy hair day, I guess. No, but in reality it is chest, biceps, quads, adductors, and abs day. So we're gonna get in there. I don't know exactly how long the workout's gonna be. It's gonna be a pretty short one today. Actually, we can be in there for a little bit, so we probably can't get through everything. But we'll kind of just get seeing what we're gonna do. This tripod that I have, it's a no good no more. My ADHD is going crazy right now with this energy drink in me right now. So I might be repeating words that I might not even be meaning to say again. But yeah, tripod, no good. Look at this thing. It's just whack. Like there's two of them right here. These two right here. So there's that metal part that connects right there, or silver part. Yeah, that thing's just dangling loose on these two pod things, tri things, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm getting a new tripod, I think today, later on today, when I'm up in my work area. But yeah, so we're gonna just get a new tripod. So you guys are gonna see one more kind of semi-bad, not really bad angles on my videos. Yesterday's was probably the worst because, so I've had that tripod for about a few months now, 5 months, I think, 6 months. It's been a good amount of time I've had it, so it got me a good, little bit. But I think it was only like 25, 30 bucks. I'm not gonna be a guy who's buying a $200 tripod, because for one, a lot of those ones are like the really bulky, like I have one of those and it's really good, but it's bare minimum like 5 feet tall, and it's also just like super blocky and just bulky, and I don't want it to be in the way. Like I already feel a little self-conscious when I have a tripod in the gym already, and at least this one's like kind of discreet, more skinny, and it's still taller, but I can put it at like 2 feet if I want to or something. But the other one is like bare minimum 4 or 5 feet, and it's just like, well, I feel like a dickhead in the gym with that. That's just how I feel. I'm not the most like social person ever, so like I'm social with the people I'm like cool with. But if I don't really know you, I'm not really going to be talking to you a whole lot. And that's nothing against anybody, but like that goes with also like recording in the gym. Like that was one big thing I had to get over, like fear-wise, was just recording in the gym. Because I remember when I was like first starting to go to the gym and like bringing in like a camera sometimes to record workouts. Because if you go back in my very early days, that's when I used to do it. I used to just bring my phone and have my phone on like a weight or like my spray bottle or something and just record that way. And sometimes people would get in the way of it, and like I didn't really want to say anything to them, obviously, because like I'm in their way and stuff too. And also like it just wasn't the best recording. So with that being said, y'all, we're gonna get in here and get a good workout in. So I'll see you guys in just a minute. Alrighty, first exercise of the day is going to be an incline dumbbell bench. Now, as you guys all know, if you guys have been watching these videos, we like to keep our elbows tucked when we're doing these to get the most amount of upper chest activation. The more flared out you have, the more kind of mid, whatever chest you, and make sure you're not arching too much, but just enough to where you're not getting any shoulder activation on this. I'm trying to failure y'all for one all-out set. So if you're new here, max sets we do usually on an exercise is 2, and for this one, we're not going to change really much. We're going to be doing 1 set, and I know this is kind of a bad angle, but make sure you're trying to touch your elbows together. Make sure you're not training too heavy whenever you're doing these, because you're flying back most of the time whenever you're going too heavy. So if you want to go heavier on these, just make sure you're kind of lowering the weight. Or also, I mean, it makes sense, but if you want to train heavy with these, have someone standing behind you kind of pressing against you. Or another option is wearing like a weight belt or something. So just train to failure, 1 set. Moving along now to the biceps. Here, we're going to be training 2 sets actually, till failure. Make sure we're really squeezing on the way up, making sure we're training heavy and hard. Again, that's not really going to change, but just train heavy and hard, y'all. That's about it. Okay. Moving along now to the biceps. Once again, we're going to be doing a preacher curl. This is just going to give you that width, but any type of curling movement, or like for triceps, for example, extending, you're hitting every head of the bicep or tricep. So don't overcomplicate things, guys. Like if you're trying to be like that guy who's like, I want to hit this exact part of my bicep. No, you're going to be hitting every part of the bicep no matter what you're doing, but you're going to be hitting it a little bit more on certain exercises. So this is going to be hitting that short head, which is on the inside part, giving you that width. Moving along to the thing that everybody skips, which is abs, as you guys are going to see here. Make sure we're training heavy and hard once again, making sure we're arching our back a little bit, and then make sure we're just going straight down and not curving our spine at all, because we don't want to be working the lower back or spine. We're just making sure we're working the abs whenever doing these. So once again, 1 set, guys. Now moving along to the legs, we're going to be doing unilateral leg extensions, which is just one at a time. And then after we can't do those anymore, we're going to be doing double legged, where we're just going to be banging it out till failure for, once again, guys, 1 set. Now moving along to the last thing for today, it's going to be adductors, which is that inside part of your leg, giving you that big old meat part inside your leg, make your legs look a lot thicker. But once again, y'all, I mean, I don't have to keep saying it, but I will. Train to failure for 1 set. Okay. Oh. All right, y'all. We're done. We're out of the gym, and pretty good gym day, I gotta say. Yeah, I mean, nothing crazy happened today. No crazy PRs that I know of. Other than my bicep easy bar cable curl, I got like an extra 3 reps on that today, I'm pretty sure. So I gotta track that on my notes. I recommend everyone to have a certain amount of reps you want to hit. I know there's some people in this world who like track everything, every little thing, and I just feel like that takes me out of the zone. Personally, like, I just can't get locked in fully for my next set if that's what I'm doing. If that works for you, do that, you know, but like, especially if you're doing high volume, I don't think it works that well, personally. So I just track if I PR on a lift. So I'll say like what I'm at. So let's say like for the bicep curls, for example, I just mentioned, originally I was at 5 reps, I think, for 150, and then I got 150 for 6 reps, and then today I got it for 9, I think. So I have to get the 10 to move up each weight, because for bodybuilding, Derek Lunsford, I was watching a video with him in it with Will Tennyson yesterday, and he was like doing the world's strongest man, world's biggest man, and the world's fittest man. And Derek Lunsford, the bodybuilder, was the world's biggest man, I think. It was something like that. And he was like, you know, like, I don't do anything low rep wise. Like 3 reps, that's non-existent for me. That's just foreign, you know? And it's kind of weird how like you see bodybuilders training in the 3, 2, 4, 5 rep range, which sometimes I get 5 reps, but who's to say that's not as productive for me as a 10 rep set, 12 rep set. But I do think that getting a contraction is a lot easier on the lighter weights. So trying to get to a 10 rep progressively is, I think, one of the better things you could do for yourself. And then when you reach 10 reps on that weight, that'll translate to, let's say on my dumbbell weight, my incline dumbbell, I'm doing 85 for 9 or 8 is my max. And I get 85s for 10, let's say next week or something. The 90s, I might get 6 or 7. So I'm still getting that higher rep range and still getting that hypertrophy training, right? Not just 2 or 3 reps. Because if I did 5 reps and then I move on to the next weight, then I just feel like I wouldn't be getting that whole growing my muscles type of training rather than strength training. There's a little bit of ways to train, different goals, you know, so you just kind of got to go with the flow of things and see what you grow from, you know, because if you just do strictly strength training expecting to grow, or if you try to do growing training and expect to get really freakily strong, well, and you can do both at the same time, like power building, but it's more just like power building, but you're more focused on bodybuilding. So you're doing lifts like incline bench over bench press, stuff like that, in my opinion. You know, like there's outliers like the Trent twins who still bench press and they have huge chest, or they do deadlifts, right? A lot of bodybuilders don't deadlift. I do. Well, I was until I got my foot injured and I was recovering my lower back. I was doing RDLs. So that was my version of a deadlift, and my version of a bench was incline bench. So try to get stronger, but most importantly, try to get bigger. If your focus is getting bigger in that kind of sphere, I guess you want to say, circle. But yeah, so don't overcomplicate things, you know, first of all. So if this is too complicated, get in there and just have fun. Pick a weight where if you really just want to do 15 reps, whatever. If as long as it's still failure and you get a crazy burn from it and you like that, do that. You know, don't do the thing that's the most scientific or the most optimal or whatever not, because you're not going to succeed with that, because you're not going to probably continue that. I have a buddy who does kickboxing and jiu-jitsu and stuff. You know, he's a fighter. He's done a couple competitions and stuff, and he's been coming to me and telling me like he doesn't really enjoy the gym, and he's doing different lifts now, and I think it's just because mainly he has different goals, but obviously I think he likes those more. I think he enjoys those lifts more, and I always say that to him: do the stuff that's going to give you more enjoyment. You know, because like I said, the gym isn't supposed to be a task, a job. It's supposed to be something that you enjoy, right? Especially if you're not recording yourself like being a fitness influencer or whatever not. Don't look at the gym at all like a job. Don't put any more stress in that place, right? Your body is already stressed enough as is, lifting heavy weights, burning those muscles, you know, building new muscle fibers, tearing muscle fibers. Why would you want to just make it so much worse? You know, if you need to bring in stress outside from the gym and put it in the gym and lift that off your chest, then do that. But don't like overthink or overcomplicate lifts, man. Like, it really annoys me when I see certain people, like, I think his name is Iron Unk or Yo or whatever on TikTok. I see every now and then, and he has like the mouth guard and the stupid red bands and stuff. It's like, dog. Like, I'm not one to judge nobody, especially on their physical size or nothing like that, but the guy is still small. I don't know how long he's been doing the gym for, but like, he overcomplicates things so much, and like, that's got to be so stressful to get the exact, like, it's already stressful enough for me to get the exact way I want my incline bench on like a Smith machine to go, because sometimes it's too low, too high, too to the left, too to the right. That's already overcomplicated enough for me, and that's like too much. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, I might as well just do dumbbells at this point. And then I get in and I'm like, okay. But for him, he's doing a mouth guard, and then he's got to set up the things where he's got his arms like this, doing lat pull downs or Kelso pull downs or whatever they call them nowadays, fish shrugs or whatever. Look at these horses out here. That's super cool. That's like part of my drive to the gym. I love my drive to the gym. It's such like a country, peaceful drive, you know? Like, you feel like nothing bad's gonna happen to you. There's churches on the way out there, and then there's like this big part where it's like a gas station, a McDonald's, and a Subway, and just awesomeness. You know, just like a nice, quiet drive to the gym, you know? But like I said, do the stuff that you're going to enjoy. If you're going to force yourself to do anything in the gym, you're not going to do it for long enough. There's some outliers who will do the hamster wheel and just keep going in the same circle, and they'll be like, this is kind of boring, but I'll do it every day. And they're disciplined, but they really only give themselves 80% of what they actually could do. Not the 100 or sometimes even 60 or 70% of what they actually could do. You know? And then there's people who are like, okay, I need to mix it up a little bit instead of just doing the same lifts because it's more optimal or whatever. And then sometimes they just do a random set of push-ups because they think it's fun. And then they give 100% of what, you know, they actually need to give. So what's going to give you more gains? The most optimal thing, but only giving 60% of your effort because you low-key kind of hate it, or 100% of your effort with not the most optimal things? Personally, I think it's the 100% effort rather than the 60%. Even if it's the most optimal workouts ever, if you hate them, don't do them. If you see Kelso shrugs, which I personally don't like them, but everyone says they're the best things for your upper back and mid back, and you just do them and you hate them, but you love doing barbell rows, and that's like, oh, that's gonna fatigue you a lot, but you love barbell rows, do barbell rows. Don't listen to nobody else. So, with that being said, I've kind of repeated the same thing over and over and over again, but I want to get you in your head to have fun in the gym. Don't make it so stressful. So with that being said, y'all, I'm going to see you later. I'm going to go grab down some food, make some beef, and then go to work. So, toodles.